welcome to a new episode of Go with Ryan. And today is very interesting because I've actually just heard about a very, very exciting announcement that we will be playing as American pros, the European professional players. So definitely looking forward to that. I think it will be very exciting. Definitely a long-awaited face-off. So to start, today I am black, and I'll play another one of my classic openings. This is sort of like the opening that I would play if I don't know what I'm going to do, or when I come back from a long break from Go. But of course, I'm not coming back from a long break from Go. So a couple of you were wondering about my account. So there's actually a very interesting story about this account. I've actually made this account during one of my summer internships. And so I was doing research at my university, and the professor didn't really have anything else because he was too busy with other stuff. So what I did was I created a Go account, and what was interesting was the postdoc that I was working with actually really liked to play Go as well. So when I didn't have anything to do at late hours during my internship, I would be playing on this account, and that's when I started this account way back. And actually, to date, I haven't really had that many games, as you can see, even though this account has been around for such a long time. So anyway, back to the game. So this was one of the really old openings that was popular about 2 or 3 years ago. Almost like every other game would be this. So yeah, at one point everyone would probably get sick of it, but I guess, yeah, it's been, after the AIs have manifested in Go, this opening has really been almost forgotten. So, all right, so yeah, this opening has a few kind of twists. And it's that when white pincers here, black has to protect the ladder breaker, because if black extends here, white could play a ladder breaker and basically hurt that whatever extension move that black made. So typically you want to extend yeah, so the reason why black plays this jump is that after you extend here, this jump is not sente. So when you play here early and black captures, then white could use this Atari to actually live in sente in the corner. But I've actually never played this out before, but I wonder what happens if black tries to capture it now. Yeah, I guess it doesn't really make that big of a difference. I was shown this by someone, but I guess it doesn't really matter that much. The point of this opening is that black gets a lot of thick, strong groups, and white is very fast in the opening. So this move has been played a couple times, actually more than a couple times. This was one of the more popular moves in this case. In in an attempt to attack this pincer stone and use this group. So locally, this is one of the end results, you could say, after the knight's move. It's actually locally not necessarily good because white has 2 stones on the right side and takes the corner. But locally, it could be decent for black because there's influence on the right side which could help attack this. If white were to take the corner, then black could cap on top. So, well, I guess that's not what he played, but this honey move is very big because it makes these stones alive now. And also, white has to extend because after the hane, these white stones are not completely alive. Umanatari should be sente because if white ignores, capturing is very, very big for the corner. Okay. So I can't let this group live because it's between 2 very, very strong groups, and if this lives, then there's not really much use for them anymore. Doesn't matter which side. I guess the right side is bigger because there's more space for white to make eyes on the right side. Yeah. Okay. After protecting... Okay, yep. So white jumps in the middle first. And now it's sort of like a test on general Go knowledge. Now, where should black play? Is it a 2-space extension? Or some other crazy thing, some invasion or something? I guess they're all possible. I guess I will just take this first. After white making this exchange, there's not much variation here. So white has to Atari and live. And this is also like a test, you know. How does white protect the corner? So if white extends, it's definitely alive, but it's very bad for points because blocking is sente. But if white plays here, there's going to be a code later. It's a 2-step code for black, but still this group is technically not completely alive. So it's sort of like a probe. Okay, so he chose to live, which then I will definitely block first, just in case that white gets a reverse sente here at some point. Okay, so after all these exchanges, the same problem persists. I guess capping is also very big. If I extend, he actually might even just jump once. Actually, yeah, I'm not too afraid of that. So I guess I'll just extend first. See how he's going to enclose this moil. I used to like this opening a lot because black gets a lot of influence, especially on the right side. I think what happens in the lower left is a very good result for black. Getting a little bit of points in the corner in sente, and at the same time, white's these stones are not completely alive yet. I have really no choice now but to extend up. Because if I block, he would have some forcing moves and be able to invade the space very comfortably. So I would definitely have to counterattack in some way. So I can't let him get the tiger's mouth. The only goal now, as black, is to keep this group weak. Not necessarily to kill. I'm not sure of whether there will be enough stones locally to play very aggressive moves and capture white. But at least I don't want white to be able to live comfortably, at the very least. Definitely want the second line now. It's very, very critical for making life. But if I hane, he might hane back. That's actually very annoying. Well, guess I have to extend. Still not so comfortable. Like, if without these exchanges, if white attached here, black would extend anyway, so it's still a decent, like a reasonable move locally. So I guess white for hane. It's not a very easy group to kill. It is tempting, isn't it, to just hard attack this group, try to kill it. But yeah, even in this case, with so many moves, it's still not that hard to live. So yeah, Go is fascinating in that it's just so hard to capture anything really, and just so much easier to make groups live, you know? Okay, yeah, at this point it's hard to attack. But I definitely don't want him to connect here. That would be a very, very easy move to make the group alive. So I guess I will still push and poke at this group a little bit, make it uncomfortable, before moving on to taking other things. Of course, white's still very much ahead in terms of the opening speed, but slowly black will be able to use all of these stronger groups and taking something in between. Okay, so let's see if he... Okay, so he extends, and now the obvious move would be to enclose, and the question is whether white can make this group alive very easily. And okay, let me just spend a minute to see. So he'll play the knight's move here, and guess black will kosumi. It's at least not very comfortable. Now I definitely am regretting exchanging this, because without this there might be other sente moves that would be more threatening to the upper group. So this is really stabbing me in the foot here, but okay. My first intuition is to enclose this, but right now it's probably not urgent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to invade on this side and leave the possibility of, say, playing the kick and making white escape as a weak group, or enclosing and letting him live small. So, okay, so I guess these are just normal moves. He played this kick. It's locally a bad move, but I guess in this case he's not too worried about getting strong since there's 3 stones. It's very narrow shape. But because of all of these stones in the center, white has technically 3 groups are not alive now. This fight should be alright. So, let's see here. Can he get this? Yeah, he probably can. Alright, fine. It's not necessarily good to exchange this because I really honestly think that these black stones are stronger than these white stones. So, black's not going to try to live, right? Black's going to try to attack. At this point, it's probably very, very important to make decisions. I think I will actually invade here to see how we would respond. Because normally you would want to attach, but because of that stone now, I can actually wedge. A concern is that I might not be able to have Sente, and I don't want that group to get attacked yet. So, let's see. It's a hard decision to make now. This is one of the most important parts of the game because a lot of things are unsettled, and whoever plays the better moves here will definitely end up carrying a lead into the end game, at least. So I still want to keep playing this group. It would definitely not be good if white can close all of this left side. If black can't get anything from these 3 weak groups, and if they settle easily, the game's definitely going in white's favor. So that's something that white is trying to do. All white needs is to settle all these 3 groups while making sure that the left side is intact. Okay. The normal move for white would be the knight's move. It's locally the stronger move out of the 2. But he chose to turn, and I'm not sure if this is a good move in this case. Because if black jumps, he would have to extend again. So this is giving black a lot of free moves over in the center. So let's say black plays a knight's move. The next move black can still come back. Actually, if he extends, this invasion seems like the next thing to do. Yeah, maybe he won't extend. Yeah, because the corner is pretty safe anyway for now. But now I'm looking at this because if I play here and he connects, then this wedge becomes a very obvious follow-up move. Now, whenever I play a move in these stages of the game, I've always kind of, because it seems like the game is definitely going in Black's momentum, just because I'm making all the fights, he's having to negotiate with me, so it's feeling very good. But when the game is like that, though, you always have to make sure that it's not just gonna suddenly overturn. So especially when you have a group like that. So let's say I invade, and he just, I don't know, for example, just extends down. And if I play another move following up, he might be able to capture this. And that would definitely be disastrous, right? Oh, it's really bad that I didn't exchange this, because now if I play here, White would definitely extend instead of connect, because he would obviously have seen the follow-up. So there's still a wedge here, but it would not be as severe as if Black had this exchange. So now I kind of regret not getting that early. So I'm going to invade first, see what his response is. So if he extends here, I will wedge and cut through. He cannot attack, because after Black Hanes and Ataris and extends back, then White's not going to have enough territory for sure. Oh, okay, so he did play a move to make sure Black cannot extend back. So I guess I will wedge and try to exploit White's weakness here on the right side. So this move, though, I'm looking at this push and cut. Which seems actually pretty severe. But I guess I could deal with that now, because I've already got a stone here. I definitely have to do something on the right side. The only bad thing is that this shape is completely terrible. But what can you do? So he has no target on that side. After I connect, he connects and cut. He has to turn, and then Black could use all of these strong stones now, which was the whole goal of starting during that invasion. So after White turns, I guess I will extend this way. So I want to Kosumi. Yeah, extending, he would Hane, and then the Liberty shortage problem would be very important. But if I play the Kosumi, the next move I can just simply Atari through. So he's got no temper about that. Yeah, then I'll just Atari through, and yeah, so White still has all of these issues with all these different cuts. The strongest move for him would probably to Hane. Okay. Now I'd want to extend to keep the correct shape. If I Hane, then first you could get me into a very, very bad shape, no eyes, and even though I might be able to gain something from the follow-up, it does seem yeah, it's just too dangerous. Yeah, typically when you get into a really bad shape during a fight, it's very rarely that you come up on top, so that might be something to keep in mind. So after he connects, now I can Hane, because now when he Ataris, I'll have good shape, I'll have that eye. This group is pretty much alive. I can make an eye here, I could look for an eye on the left side. Now there's no problem here either, so shape-wise, Black's doing well. And since this group is cut off, White's definitely thinking about what he can do to live, and it's not really obvious to me whether he can right now. Okay, so that looks like a clever move. But it's not really any different. Eventually he's going to Atari here anyway. So, I mean, just like a fancy little display. But really, doesn't make too much difference. Okay, fine. Now you're going to exchange his turn. Okay, if he doesn't, I mean, the next move would definitely be here. Still, after this fight, it's important not to forget what you came here for, of course. So the original goal was to attack White and use the center thickness. Now this is pretty much enclosed now, but of course use the lower right. Now, if the next move definitely have to be here, because I would need to threaten this group, and that way it also makes it possible to separate the center group. So here is really the difference between groups that are weak and groups that are not, which will be especially important now. So I guess this group is roughly alive. Just made 6 points there, but alright, so back to our original plan. We lost those 2 stones. It's not too big of a deal, because cutting through here means that White's got through. And originally, this exchange now is super good for Black. Okay, I'm going to see what White's going to do to live. So I'm going to just I'm going to let him extend, because I want to leave the potential to attach. So yeah, I really underestimated that. Yeah, it's actually really good for White not to exchange that, because then it's still possible for White. These 3 stones still have that extra liberty, so it's actually really good. And Black will never connect here anyway. Is that even sente? Well, it does seem... It appears that it is. Okay, I'll just capture. Still, Black's still taking... I need to keep the initiative, because after attacking this group, I need to keep attack. White still has more territory, and still that same question remains. So next time when you play this opening, it's definitely one of the most important things you want to keep in mind is never try to keep sente, because if you keep having sente, you can keep attacking. Whenever you lose sente, your opponent has a chance to overturn that. And I kind of lost sente there, because I'm getting caught up with my own groups that are getting cut. So we'll see. So these 3 stones, when Black pushes, White has to extend. Okay, fine. You can see that throughout this game, White is continuously being probed everywhere, right? All these weaknesses are being threatened at all times. So, okay, whoa, he is very... Oh, I see. So what he's trying to get at is Black's weakness here. And it might be something pretty concerning. But whatever happens, I'll need to cut these 2 groups off. Okay. There's nothing too interesting yet, because White cannot push through here without these 4 stones dying. Wow, it's unbelievable. I feel like just capturing the right side. You know, my style is kind of like, just maybe it's a little too safe, I think, these days. But like before, I was so reckless. No, but and if it was me, let's like say 5 years ago, I would definitely just went for it. But yeah, especially like online, there's you know, it doesn't matter that much. Anyway, so if White extends here, Black will connect, and there's just so many liberties on that side. Yeah, I'm just gonna capture this group. Alright. So, positive that white cannot cut here. He wants those two stones, fine. And just going to go for this group now. It's sort of like an all-in statement, you know. It's like, yeah, you get it all or nothing. Guess I'll just capture that soon. He doesn't have that many liberties. Just doing some proofreading here. Yeah, that's it. The other thing that I do have to worry about is whether he can get all the sente moves, get everything, all the points in sente. And if I have to fill in too many times here, then if he can get all of this, capture the stone, he might still be close. So that's the thing that I have to watch out for. But it doesn't really seem like there's too much white can do. Okay. How many liberties is that? Well, so if I get sente, I can actually, I don't know what you call that, inner push here, and then white will get reduced by a lot of liberties. So he's extending. Find that move again, kind of hard to believe. What does that even mean? Oh, I guess I can't really let this group get cut off. Yeah, I'm just gonna push so there's no more possibility of living. So locally, white's already dead. Because if white turns, I can even just make this. So he can, white could push, and then turn, and then black would have to connect. Oh, but yeah, I guess white could still live like that. Yeah, yeah, very poor reading skills, but still. I'm just gonna play moves to reduce liberties now, because it is possible for white to start a liberty race with these center stones. It's the problem when you capture a group, is that you can't simply you can't simply capture it. You have to avoid these harder variations where there can be a capture race or some sort. Oh god, I think I made a mistake because he can throw in. That would have been Ko. How many liberties does that have now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so white has 7 liberties. That's more than I would like. So does that work now? So he can protect the cut some other way. I see. So that really ended up badly. So locally, I've actually lost the liberty race now. Oh man. That was very, very poor planning. So the good thing about that, well, the one good part of that is there's not that many points in terms of capturing it. But of course, it's a lot because normally Block would have captured it, but okay, so very, very bad mistake. But of course, after every mistake, you have to look for ways to come back. So let's see if there's any way to revive everything. So yeah, definitely a huge loss there. I shouldn't have played these moves in the center. Okay, but I can still surround the left side. So it's sort of like a last resort kind of thing. He didn't play very well in the last few moves. After taking that, he probably thought the game was over already. And it should have been, but well, there's still more complications I can make. Get all those sentiments, but this still gets surrounded. Okay, let's see if there's something that we can do to, there's still some Audrey. Oh, what? Of course I have to capture now. Oh man. So I can still capture this group with one move, but really key what happens over here. And the very, very big issue for me right now is that there's no I. So if there was ever a race with, so yeah, it's really critical that I win the semi-I here. So I've decided to try to get this exchange. If he takes, then I could still benefit in liberties, but if he connected, it would have been good for liberties, but that I will be halved. Oh, this is going to be a ko, isn't it? Well, oh, yeah, it really doesn't work. Yeah, I can't not be killed. Cannot be captured for sure, no. Well, the good thing is I can still connect back. Let him live. And then still capture the lower side. I'm really not sure if that's enough. So this will definitely be a ko. And I definitely have threats. I have threats. Wait a minute, what? No, that'll be goche. So if I throw in now, and so let's see where the co-threats are. This is an interesting shape because white can't win this go in one move. Even though black cannot connect. Oh yeah, white can just reduce here actually, yeah. But the important thing is now that I have co-threats. I have a lot of them. And I don't really see that many for white, so we might have done it, you know, we've actually came back from such a huge deficit, so. I think we've done it already. Okay, that's definitely a co-threat. So if I play here, oh my gosh, this really sucks. I did the co-threats in the wrong order. So now I have to attach. I'll just attach on this side, just so to minimize the loss. But I should definitely have done a co-threat here first. But of course now if I Hane here, this group would still be dead. So is he giving up on the ko? Because if he, yeah, normally for the least co-threats, of course you would have to play a more defensive move. But it seems as if he might have given up on the ko. No, of course I'll just block, and that's an easy co-threat there. Yeah, this is definitely looking good for us. Is this Atari? I guess it's not a co-threat. But this is definitely one of the last. He could potentially get another co-threat here, but that's definitely it. So what I can do is I can Atari here first, and then find this one as the last one. Alright. Yeah, I'm not sure why he gave up on so many co-threats, because if he fought the ko normally, I'm pretty sure it's still hard to say. And of course, there's this group, so he has to spend 2 moves here. So that's the last one. I'm not sure what's going on, because he has been very careful in not finding, wait, now I can connect. what is he up to now? But first I don't need to. All I have to do is find this last kill threat and capture the group. And that's it, he's out. So if he captures these 2 stones, it's about 60 points. Yeah, black has over 70, so this is looking good. Definitely have to go back and look at what happened there, though. That was quite the upset. It would have been very disappointing if I lost the game because of that. Yeah, so that's it. That's the game. It's definitely not a co-threat. Is he joking around with me now? Alright, so let's take a quick look at the game. It seemed to flow very well up until one point in the middle. So this was all fine. Maybe, yeah, so for sure when he jumped like this, definitely should have exchanged this. Because after he connected, this is going to be much more severe than what happened in the game. So yeah, after this, it was still fine. These exchanges might be a little questionable. So I wanted to make him respond before applying something on the right side, but yeah, these were good moves because White didn't have to exchange this early to keep the liberty for the stones in the center, which was a very smart move. So I'm not sure what I really. So let's just pretend he lives like that. Make White live there, and then jump down. So that was sort of the ideal situation there, and I definitely think this would be a very, very smooth sailing game for Black. Taken all the big points, got rid of all of White's potential on the left side, while keep all the other territories are pretty much the same. So yeah, definitely Black is going to be ahead in terms of territory. Also in the end game, because these groups are relatively stronger, it's definitely going to be easier for Black to gain points during the end game just from using the strength and the stones. So yeah, this definitely should have been what happened, but yeah. So I guess the mistake would just really just to try to kill this group. So I guess a smarter thing for me would probably to actually just tower here, or because if White lives, it's exactly the same thing as what would happen, right? It's going to be exactly the same result. So sometimes you just ask yourself, why are you trying so hard, you know? If you can win the easy way. Yeah. Oh well. So really what Black should do is still don't capture, just extend back so White can push, and in order to connect back, Black has to do this way, and then White can live like that. But I mean, that's just such a it's such a bad way of living, and it's so Black's turn, and it's oh my gosh, look at that, look at this board now. Black is so strong, getting some points in Sente, definitely going to be an easy win. And of course, I go for the kill, and these are good moves. At this point, because white had 7 liberties, there's not going to be enough liberties for this group. So black was forced to do something there. So actually, right now, all white needs to do is probably just extend and just take some more points. Yeah, definitely. After capturing the center, white has retaken the lead, because that's very, very big, and the center is much stronger now as well. So definitely a win for white. I guess the main mistake was, I'm not sure why he went back to connect there. If white connects, then I was actually going to look for some weakness here, but in the end, oh yeah, so I was actually really thinking about this move, because after extending, white has increased the liberties by a lot. So black could connect back in Sente. Even though white could live, black could still take some points on this side. It might be better to do it this way, but we'll just do like a quick look. Yeah, definitely winning for black. So white's mistake, definitely this connect. So if white connects here, then black could get this in Sente, and then black would have to try to get something with this Zaji, which I really honestly couldn't see anything too important on the right side. So, alright, so yeah, definitely going way over time, but yep, hoping you enjoyed the game, and I will see you next time.